welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Rafael McMaster, and I'm here at Resin Creative Labs. This is our third episode. In this episode, we will be talking to you about our creative wisdom tools. Now, these set of tools, a set of instructions for how to use our inner technology, was created during this pandemic, so written around April, May, June, the summer of 2020. And we realized that this next generation is going to have a social and emotional disruption and a behavioral energetic fingerprint left by the pandemic and by their schooling getting disruptive and their connection with others and hugging and touching and eye contact and interaction and connection with people, and that disruption is true for all of us, but especially important for students because they're in their early development of character and being. And the culmination of those factors of COVID and pandemic, alongside the increase of screen time and addiction to social media and to screens and to apps and technology and gaming and all those things, those two things coming together have made the ingredients for a major mental health crisis in our country. And we here at the Resin Creative Labs and myself, we thought, what is the most impactful thing that we could give to this generation as tools to use as learning, right? So, our vision with these tools, our vision with these 8 specific tools and the way that we teach them is to create a better reality, and not by guaranteeing that we can transform the outside world of someone and a student in their future life. We can't give them the tools to predict or change their outside world, but we can give them the tools to transform their inside world so that it's not so anxious and it's not so stressful and it's not a depressing place. And how do we do that, right? And so, through our creative wisdom tools, the toolkit, our vision is to give students the resiliency and the tools to meet life on life's terms. And we define success through our students retaining and utilizing these tools in their daily life, and resulting in students who are, physically present, spiritually aware, mentally focused, and emotionally calm. Now, these 8 tools that we teach are designed to complement each other and be the real life grit and hands-on tools that give function to all of the greater spiritual teachings and the wisdom. So the tools, as we teach them, and we focus on 1 tool per week, right? And so in this series of episodes, I'm going to do an overview today, and then in the subsequent episodes, we're going to do 1 tool at a time, and we'll spend 8 or 9 minutes on 1 tool at a time. So here's the tools that we're going to be teaching and going over. So the creative wisdom tools are acceptance, so accepting life on life's terms, being able to be at peace with letting things go, being able to say, thy will be done, or whatever it is that controls or governs the universe, that everything is playing out exactly as it's supposed to be, that no things happen in this world by mistake. And if one has a kind of a spiritual lens or leaning towards God or a higher power, then that tool becomes more accessible on a spiritual level. But even for those that are very, very science-based, don't necessarily ascribe to a higher power or God, then it still can be held true, with the tool of acceptance, that reality is reality, right? The material world, this dimension that we're living in and related to time, it has happened, something has happened, and we need to have the tools to accept that so we can move on. Okay, so acceptance is the first one we teach. The second one is awareness, right? How to watch our own thoughts. I used to think that all the thoughts that happen in my head were me, and that was me, and I could have multiple voices on a subject, and I could even disagree within my own head on a subject, right? And it wasn't until I was 35 till someone really helped me realize, wait a minute, you're not the thoughts in your head, you're the person watching the thoughts in your head. You're the observer who can choose between these different voices and channels. It's like a person switching on a radio station. I agree with this one, I disagree with one, right? So the awareness to watch our thoughts, right? So that's the second one. The third one is intention, right? Having a vision, having a goal, right? Not just a goal, but like an elevated vision and how to make a three-dimensional holographic movie in your mind where you can watch a vision of what it is that you want to intend toward and begin to create a gravitational pull, an energetic pull for the universe bringing this to you, and to get your entire conscious and subconscious rowing in the same direction because you have a deep intention around something. And then how to take that vision and develop heart energy and connect the two through cardio-neurology, right? The connection of the heart and mind. And now you've fallen in love with a vision. So having a deep intention and what that means, not only for long-term goals, but for short-term goals or how you want to feel today, your intention for today, right? So that's the third week, the third tool that we teach the kids. The fourth that we teach is gratitude, right? And not just gratitude as, oh, I'm happy, this is nice, but more so that deep, deep sense of gratitude, right? That can completely shift and change your lens. For an example, I can go to a meal and be like, oh, this is a terrible meal, this is not a good meal. Or I can eat a meal and go, I am so lucky and grateful that I have a warm meal. And 1 billion people on this planet don't know where their next meal comes from, right? So that deep sense of gratitude as a lens and as perspective and as a specific energy imprint on our heart, a signature that we can experience and then understand how that feels and how to get back to that feeling with regularity. Once again, if it happens once, it's a miracle, but if we know how to make it happen, that becomes a technology. The next is compassion, right? And the golden rule, and treat others the way you want to be treated. And, namaste, the divine in me sees the divine in you, understanding that there's a soul in that person too, understanding that there's always more to the story. So compassion is the fifth week that we do. The sixth week we do is forgiveness, and we teach specifically about resentment being the most toxic of all the emotions, because when I'm angry, I know I'm angry. When I'm frustrated, I know I'm frustrated. When I'm resentful, it sounds just like logic in my head, right? And so being able to identify when we're being resentful and how to use forgiveness, right? And learning how to apologize, but at first, how to use forgiveness, right? The next is connection, right? And connection on 3 different levels. Connection to oneself, right? And teaching how to meditate and calm oneself and sit with your own voice in your heart as the seat of the soul, right? Connection with each other, eye contact and the energetic connection, what's actually happening, the magic that's happening when we connect. And the third is connection to the universe, to the divine matrix, to the world and whatever it is that governs the universe, how to be connected to that, right? And if a person believes it's God or a higher power or spiritual or Mother Earth or whatever it is that a person believes in or a student believes in, we help them say, cool, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, believe in what you believe in, but whatever it is, believe in something, because that is the something, that is the source of power that we begin to learn how to connect with and have a personal relationship with. And that's such a huge part of this. So that's the 7th one. And the 8th one is Soul Esteem and teaching how the soul works. Teaching the soul as essentially our consciousness, right? And how to bring our consciousness into our body. And when our consciousness is in our body in specific places, it creates bioelectric energy, right, that interacts with specific energy and gland centers in our body and creates this bioelectric energy, right, as our consciousness in the material form. And so teaching kids about that, but also how to connect to their own, intergalactic divine royalty of the human body. We are an amazing, amazing biological thing, and to understand and love that part of ourselves, right? So soul esteem, right? It's self-confidence, It's self-esteem. It's honoring the fact that we have a soul. It's honoring the fact that we're in a human body, and what an amazing experience this is. That we are a human having a spiritual experience, and that we are a spirit having a human experience, right? And so those are the 8 tools we teach: acceptance, awareness, intention, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness, connection, and soul esteem. So you'll see me in these next episodes, and we'll be going one of those at a time till we get through each of those tools. And hopefully there's been part of this that can help make the world a little bit brighter for you, a little bit easier for you. If you believe in what we're doing in this message, then please share it with someone that you think it can help.